Right, here we go. We do step 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Right, step of hope. And why do we call this the step of hope? Because, it's more than just stopping drinking, drugging, or gambling. This is about life, changing your life for the better. It's almost like, as you say, the carrot at the end of the stick. So it's what people should aspire for. Recovery is all about change. It's all about making things new. It's not just about stopping something old that wasn't working. It's about saying, well, what can I do? Where can I go with this? Where can I go with myself going forward? And that's what it's all about. So the step of hope, as you say, is hope that things will improve, things will get better. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And then the promises of recovery, they'll go along with the 12 steps of recovery. You can look them up on an AA website if you want. But just to say, this is what happened for us when we went through this program and we did the suggested things. We did start to see benefits in our lives. Our lives did start to improve and get better. And I can vouch for that. My life is a lot different now to what it was 15 and a half years ago. You couldn't compare the two. Came to believe. And it's a process, coming to believe. So what we say in that sense, this is one that blocks a lot of people, because when they suddenly start to see believe, coming to believe, the first thing they think is, what are they talking about here? Is this God? And a lot of people who would have been in active addiction would have a resentment towards anything to do with God, because they would have felt that they were abandoned. But when we say coming to believe, it's a process. So no matter what you believe in, be it yourself, family, friends, you name it. You don't have to believe in a certain thing, but it's a process to start to believe. And when you come from a very dark place like addiction, you don't really believe in very much. So this process of learning to start to come to believe, being open and willing. So as I say, be open to everything and accept nothing in the beginning, and just shop around really. Whatever works for you, whatever gives you a sense of meaning, purpose, and hope in life, that's what you cling on to. But don't be thinking because somebody else is doing this or someone else is doing that, I must do this. Remember, comparisons are the thief of joy. It has to be yours, to yourself, and internalized. Following your heart. So it's not about what your head thinks, it's how you feel. It's what gives you that sense, warms your heart. You feel that physical sensation inside you when you feel good, and that's what you go for. And it's a search. So it's coming to, and you have to keep searching, but it will come. It will do. If you keep looking, you will get it. And then surrendering in the sense of letting go, and just belief and faith. They kind of go hand in hand. Just saying, I want help. I'll do whatever it takes for that help. Wherever that help comes from, I will accept it. I won't take it, with a pinch of salt. I'll accept it unconditionally, because this is where I'm at and this is what I need. Serenity prayer is a great example of that. And that's just, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and then the wisdom to know the difference. Okay, a power greater than ourselves. And if you look at that, addiction is definitely a negative power, which is much greater than the individual, much greater than the person, much greater than me or anybody else in addiction. So that is a power, and that's a very real power, and that power had us in its clutches for a very long time. The ego is a negative power too, because the egoic head and the addictive head go very much hand in hand. And it's the ego, not the arrogant ego saying that you're better than other people, although a lot of times in active addiction we did feel that way. But in recovery, it's a negative ego saying, I'm not good enough and this will never work for me. So we have to let that go or not acknowledge that. I know sometimes it's easier said than done, but it's something you have to just keep working at. Your higher self or a positive power, and that's whatever, again, you get that feeling inside of you, whatever that higher power be. It can be spiritual, it can be physical, doesn't matter. It's whatever gives you a sense of meaning and purpose in life and hope. So God is a positive power if that is what you believe in, and it's the God of your own understanding. And then restoring us to sanity. And people think, what? What are you on about with sanity? I wasn't insane. Sure, I still had my house, I still had my job, I still had my car, I was paying my mortgage and all that. But the insanity in this sense is, as it says, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And that's the insanity of addiction. And it's the insanity of a lot of things we do in life. We're very much repetitive, routine oriented. And if it's not working, don't do it, but we just continue to do it and just keep doing it and expecting something to change, but it doesn't happen. And then the insanity or the sanity of returning what we've lost. And we lost, our lives to an extent. We lost control of our lives. We lost hope, we lost faith, we lost belief, we lost a lot of different things. So that is all coming back. We lost our families. But that's all starting to come back. So I'll just summarize step 2, letting go of doubt, okay, and replacing it with belief, as it'll work for me. So if you have a doubt, oh, this is not going to work, don't matter about the how. How is it going to work? Don't even worry about that, because it will. If you can believe, it will work. So just say, I want this to work. I want this to work for me. I want to change my life and better my life. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I believe that there's help there for me to do it. And that's what you need to focus on. Once you start to go into doubt, oh, it'll never work, that's where you're going to go backwards. The how, as they say, don't worry about the how. That'll sort itself out. And taking time to focus on what is working rather than what is not. So again, rather than looking and saying, oh, I'm not getting there fast enough. Oh, this is not doing this for me yet. Oh, this, just say, well, even the smallest little things that you notice, the smallest little changes that you notice on a day-to-day basis. Take note of those. Keep focusing on that. All right, well, thanks for that, and I'll see you over in step 3.